Okay, so let's start with the super quick revision of a new chapter, that is place of supply. As you already know, under place of supply, whatever are the section numbers referred, these refers to the reference is given to the IGST Act until unless specifically given. Right now, before we go ahead, what was the main purpose of this place of supply chapter? Yes, again I'm telling you, this is a super quick revision. So this is assuming you have studied it before, you have understood it before, and now we're just going to revise it quickly. Okay. Now we already know that GST is a consumption based tax, it is a destination based tax. So generally the revenue should go to the to that particular state government, to that particular government where the goods are ultimately going to get consumed. Right now, here we need to understand whether a particular supply is a interstate supply or whether it is an intrastate supply. For that we need to determine the location of the supplier, and we need to understand the place of supply, location of the supplier and the place of supply. Okay, so in this particular chapter we are going to understand the definition of location of supplier also, and we are also going to determine, in multiple cases we are also going to determine what is going to be the place of supply. If this location of supplier and the place of supply, if this is in the same state or union territory, then it is going to be intrastate supply. If these are in two different states, or one state, one union territory, or two different union territories, then in that case it will be called as interstate supply. Are you clear with this? Yes. So that is told here in the introduction part of it. Then when we go ahead, okay, I'm just scrolling in your notes itself. When we go ahead, after that, all these things are given here. Okay, then after that, now here they are telling that yes, there will be some separate rules. Okay, there will be some separate rules whenever this, in some cases, okay, not in all cases, but in some cases, when the services are being provided to a registered person, or when the services are provided to unregistered person, that we'll understand when we do section number 10 and 12. You will understand when we are doing that. Okay, then after that, going to the next one, that is a few definitions. Okay, a few relevant definitions. Now first definition is of continuous journey, that we are going to use it in section number 12. Here they are telling that continuous journey is such a journey. Can you see this, everyone here? It is such a journey for which there can be a single ticket or there can be separate ticket. Okay, single ticket or more than one ticket that is issued, but it is such a journey in which in between there should be no stopover that should have happened. Then such a journey will be called as a continuous journey. Stopover means there should be no break in between, right? Then after that, there was a definition of the term called as fixed establishment. Means one is your place of business. Okay, place of business definition also we are going to do. One is your place of business, and apart from that, if the operations are being carried on from, or the service has been provided from some other place, okay, where there is a kind of permanency that is happening, then such place will also be considered as your fixed establishment. Okay, that will be considered as your fixed establishment. There you have human resources also, that is employees, etc. also sitting. You have got technical resources also to provide the services. Then such a place will be called as a fixed establishment, right? Then after that, the next thing there is, the next definition is of the location of recipient of service, the person who is receiving the service. Okay, what is there in that? What is the location? Okay, recipient of service, you are aware about that. What will be the location of the recipient? If the service is received at my place of business, then my place of business will become the location. If the service have been received at my fixed establishment, then in that case, that location of the fixed establishment will become the location of the recipient. If service is being received at more than one place, okay, let's say at one place of business and let's say at fixed establishment, then the place which is more directly concerned with receiving of that services, and if in none of these places are present, then the location of residence of the recipient will be considered as the location of recipient of that service, right? Then for that same way, a summary chart or a table has been given here. Then after that, the next one, that is location of supplier. Okay, same way, location of the supplier, that is if the supply is made from, okay, now suppliers, if the supply is made from the place of business, then that place of business will be considered as the location of the supplier. If it is made from fixed establishment, then location of the fixed establishment. If it is made from more than one place, then the place which is more directly concerned. And if none of these are available, then in that case, location of the residence of the supplier will be considered as the location of the supplier. Are you clear with this? Yes. Then talking about the place of business. Place of business will include any such place from where normally we carry out the business, including our godown, warehouse, etc. Then any such place where we maintain our books of accounts, even that will be called as the place of business, or any other place through where we engage ourselves into business either directly or through an agent. Okay, directly was already covered in the first point, or any place from where we are conducting the business through an agent, even that will be considered as a place of business. Are you clear with this? Yes. Chalo, then starting with the main provision, section number 10. Section number 10 talks about what? Section number 10 is going to talk about determination of place of supply in case of goods. Okay, specifically it is going to talk about goods cases here, and it is not going to talk about any cross border. It is not going to talk about import and export, because that will be covered separately. Okay, so this is domestic transaction whenever there is supply of goods that is happening. That in that we are going to study 5 circumstances. First one, normal supply involving movement of goods. Next one, supply not involving movement of goods. Next one, bill to ship to model. Next one is installation of the goods, and the last one is goods supplied on board. Okay, and for the residual cases we have got section number 10.2. Okay, for the residual cases we have got section number 10.2. Now let's start with section number 10.1. First of all, section number 10.1 talks about that this section we are going to refer when we have to determine the place of supply other than import and export transaction. Within that, section number 10.1a talks about supply of goods where movement, place of supply in case where supply involves movement of the goods. So in that case, the place of supply will be the location where the movement of the goods gets terminated. Okay, the delivery gets terminated for delivery to the recipient. That becomes the place of supply. Okay, now this provision is not applicable. Okay, this provision is not applicable when there is no movement of goods. This was applicable only when there is movement of goods, right? Then going to the next one, we have got multiple examples given in our book. You can just refer it. Now next one, section number 10.1b, very important section number also to be remembered. When there we are talking about the bill to ship to model. That is when I am providing the goods, I am supplying the goods to you. Okay, my contract was with you, but then you told, can you deliver it to the other person? Yes, so in that case I am billing to you, but I am shipping to another person. So they are telling that the place of supply will not be to the other person to whom you have delivered the goods. The place of supply will be the principal place of business with whom you have entered into the contract initially, right? That is determined under section 10.1b. But okay, that is one supply. Then you are the person with whom I had my original contract. Then you also entered into a contract with some other person. That will also be considered as a supply, but that will be considered as a supply under section 10.1a. Okay, my contract with you, for that the place of supply will be determined as per section 10.1b. Okay, and when you got a further order from another person, that transaction will be determined under section number 10.1a. Right? Then after that, let's go to the next one, that is section number 10.1c. Everyone with me, let's go to section number 10.1c. Can you see section number 10.1c in your books, everyone? Yes, 10.1c talks about supply not involving movement of goods. Supply not involving movement of goods. Okay, we have been taking example of this. Let's say I had leased you some goods. Okay, goods are kept in your premises. Then I'm selling you the goods. You can keep the goods. So the place of supply will be the place where the goods are located at the time of delivery to the recipient. Can I say the goods are already at your location? So that will be considered as the place of supply. Then going on to section number 10.1d. 10.1d talks about what? 10.1d talks about supply involving installation or assembly of the goods. Okay, so if I am providing you the supply of goods which needs to be installed or which needs to be assembled at a particular place, so the place of supply will be the place of installation or the place of assembling the goods at that particular place. Okay, then going on to the next section, that is section number 10.1e. What is section number 10.1e? 10.1e, very important, many times repeated in the question answers also. Goods supplied on board a conveyance including vessel, aircraft, ship, train, motor vehicle, etc. Okay, whenever the goods are sold during a journey, okay, on any of these conveyance, then in that case the place of supply will be the place where the goods have been taken on board. जहां से गुड्स को चढ़ाया है, ठीक है, that place will be considered as the place of supply. Doesn't matter where you are selling the goods, okay, that is totally irrelevant. And last, if your circumstances not falling under any of this, then you will determine the place of supply as per section number 10(2). Okay, as per section number 10(2), they are telling that the place of supply will be determined in the prescribed manner. Okay, that will be prescribed. Are you clear till here? Yes, in your textbook, can you see summary is also given in between? Okay, after the respective section, summary is also given so that you can refer it. Okay, then after that, let's go to section number 12. Can you see this, everyone? Section number 12. What is section number 12 going to talk about? Section number 12 is going to talk about supply, determination of place of supply in case of service. Okay, section number 10 was talking about goods. Section number 12 is going to talk about service, but where both of them, location of the supplier and location of recipient, both is situated here in India, means section number 12 is going to become applicable. Okay, now in this case, section number 12(1) says the same thing. Section number 12(1) says the same thing, that this section is going to be applicable for determination of place of supply where both location of supplier and location of recipient both are situated here in India. In this, we are going to study some specific provisions also, some specific type of services also, which are going to start from section number 12(3). Okay, which are going to start from section number 12(3), and it is going to go to section number 12 subsection 14. Okay, 12(3) to 12(14) specific services are covered. If you are not falling under any of those specific services, then the place of supply will be determined as per section number 12(2). Okay, it will be determined as per section number 12(2). So now let's understand what is this by default provision if you are not falling under any of the specific cases. If any service is being provided to a registered person, okay, if it is provided to a registered person, the place of supply is going to be the location of the recipient. Okay, location of the recipient, that is, they are assuming that the supply is going to be consumed there. So GST being a destination based consumption tax, so the place of supply will be the location of recipient. Okay, but what if the service is being given to an unregistered person? So if we have the address of that person available, place of supply will be his location of the address. But if his address is not available, then the place of supply we do not have any details of the location of the recipient. So location of supplier will be considered as the place of supply. Are you clear till here? Yes, this is the by default provision under section number 12(2). Okay. At most of the cases, what they have tried, okay, at most of the places they have tried to keep the location of the recipient as the place of supply, because that's where the concept of GST lies, right? If that is not available, then we are left with no choice. Then going on to the next section, that is section number 12(3), super duper important, repeated so many times in your exams. Section number 12(3) along with rule number 4 of the IGST rules. Here, any services provided in relation to immovable property, that is, any services provided by architect, any services provided by interior decorator, any services provided by engineer, surveyor, etc., but only in relation to immovable property, real estate services, etc. provided, or any services provided by way of giving the right to use immovable property for some functions, events, and all those things, or any services provided by way of lodging or accommodation in any hotel, inn, guest house, clubs, campsite, houseboat, etc., or any services. Same, suppose I want to conduct any marriage functions, if I want to conduct any office functions in any immovable property, etc., then services provided for that. In such cases, what are they telling? Okay, in such cases, in all these cases, they are telling that by default the place of supply will be the place where the immovable property is located, or where the immovable property is intended to get located. So location of the immovable property will be considered as the place of supply. Very clear with this? Okay, now what if the location of immovable property is outside India? Okay, then also this section will only be applicable if supplier and recipient both are in India, then section 12 is applicable. But if the property is located outside India, then we cannot make the place of supply as place outside India. So in such case, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Okay, can you see this, everyone? The place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Very clear with this? Okay, now listen, just try to understand. If the property is here in India, Okay, if the property is here in India, then the place of supply will be the location of that immovable property. If the immovable property is located outside India, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Very clear with this? Okay, now listen, the problem arises when this is the summary table that is given for you. Okay, now after that, everyone here. Yes, what if there are multiple immovable properties? Okay, or what if there is immovable property in multiple states or union territories? Okay, or what if there is a single property which spreads across 2 or more states? Okay, then in that case, can we say there are many states that are getting involved, so the place of supply might get differed? So they are telling that, okay, let's say if there is a road, or if there, that is also an immovable property. Let's say there is construction of road, there is construction of highway which gets spread from, that goes from one state to another. Let's say it is going from Maharashtra to Gujarat. So can we say there are 2 states that are involved here? So how will you divide the value of service? So just go and refer the agreement or the contract, and whatever amount is returned, okay, they must have written some proportion, na, that this much amount is charged for Maharashtra, this much amount is charged for Gujarat. So divide the service on that basis. Okay, till here also it is okay. But what if there is nothing written in the contract or agreement, or what if there is no contract or agreement at all? Then this bifurcation has to be done as per rule number 4 of the IGST rules. Now what does rule number 4 tells us? Now let's say there is a particular service provider who is providing me the service of lodging accommodation. Let's say lodging accommodation in 2 properties which are situated in 2 different states. Okay, Taj Mumbai, Taj Jaipur, let's say, for example. Then in that case, if nothing is specified in the agreement, then this value, and that person has charged a consolidated figure from me. So this consolidated amount will be divided on the basis of number of nights stayed in these 2 properties. Okay, next one, let's say there is a single property. Okay, and that property is situated on the border of Maharashtra and Gujarat. So in that case, can we say the immovable property is located in 2 different states now? So whatever amount of, whatever is the value of service, that will be divided between these 2 states on the basis of area of immovable property. Okay, area of immovable property, that is how much area is lying in Maharashtra, how much area is lying in Gujarat. On that basis, I am going to divide it. Okay, similarly, what if I have been provided lodging accommodation in a houseboat or in a vessel, and that houseboat is going from Kerala to from Kerala, for some time it is there in Kerala also, and sometime it is there in Tamil Nadu also, or sometime in Karnataka also, example. Okay, so in that case, can I say sometime it is in one state waters, another time it is in another state waters? Okay, so whatever, the entire value will be divided in the ratio of time spent by the vessel in the respective states. Very clear with this? Okay, now listen, now let's go to this was all about your section number 12.3. okay, this was all about your section number 12.3. Now let's go to the next section, that is section number 12.4. 12.4 talks about your restaurant services and catering services, personal grooming services, fitness services, beauty health services, etc. Then in such cases, place of supply will be the place where the service have been actually performed. Okay, makeup services, etc. we had taken those example. Catering services, wherever we are providing the catering services to that particular customer. This is very, very simple. Then section number 12.5 talks about training and performance appraisal services. In that case, it depends whether the service have been provided to a registered person or service have been provided to an unregistered person. If registered person, we have got his address available, so the place of supply will be the location of such recipient. If that is not available, then if the training have been provided to an unregistered person, then in that case, the place of supply will be the place where the service have been actually given, or the training has been actually imparted. Right, then going on to the next section, section number 12.6. 12.6 talks about admission to the event, any cultural event, any such sporting event, cultural event, artistic event, etc. or entry to any amusement parks and all those. So in such cases, the place of supply is the place where the event is going to be held, or the place where that park, amusement park, water park, etc. is situated. Right, then going on to the next section, that is section number 12.7. What is section 12.7 talking about? It talks about organization of event, that is someone is organizing the event for me, or someone is providing me event organization services. Okay, then in such a case, if the service is provided to a registered person, then in that case, place of supply will be the location of recipient. Okay, location of recipient irrespective of the fact whether the event is in India or the event is outside India, because the service is given to a registered person. But if the service is given to an unregistered person, then in that case, if the event is going to be held in India, the place of supply will be the place of that event, that is the place where the event is going to be held, right? But if this event is going to be outside India, in case of unregistered person, okay, in case of unregistered person, if this event is going to be held outside India, then you cannot keep the place of supply as outside India. So then in that case, what is going to happen? Then in that case, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Can you see this? Okay, summary table is given: in India, outside India, registered person or unregistered person. Yes. Okay. Then after that, can there be a possibility? Can there be a possibility that event is held in more than one state? Okay, there is a single event organizer who is providing me services for events which are going to be held in multiple states. So simple, how do we divide the amount? Then just go and refer the contract or the agreement and divide it accordingly. Okay, if there is no contract or agreement, then they are telling that divided as per generally accepted accounting principles. Apply the rational, rationally divide the amount between the two different states or union territories. Are you clear with this? Okay, example can be, let's say, how to apply generally accepted accounting principle. Let's say 3 events were held in one state and 5 events were held in another state. So generally accepted accounting principle will be dividing the total amount in the ratio of 3:5. Then after that, going to the next section, that is section number 12.8. Okay, section number 12.8 talks about transportation of goods. Transportation of goods including mail or couriers. I had given you the example of sending the parcels. Okay, if the service, if let's say delivery courier is providing a service to a registered person, then the place of supply will be location of the recipient. But if delivery service is providing service to an unregistered person, let's say to my mother who wants to send Rakhi to his brother, then in that case, the place of supply will be the place where the goods have been handed over. Okay, when the goods have been handed over for transportation. Are you clear with this? Yes. Now, what will happen? Okay, now listen, there is a proposed amendment that is introduced here. Okay, suppose if the goods are being transported outside India. Okay, if the goods have been transported to a place outside India, till now there was a proviso that the place of supply will be the place of destination of such goods outside India. Okay, in the amendment they have proposed that this proviso should be removed. Okay, that is, if the goods, if I want to send my books outside India, I am a registered person. Okay, the place of supply will be location of the recipient. Okay, and in case if the services have been given to an unregistered person, and unregistered person wants to send some products outside India, then the place of supply will be India only, that is the place where the goods have been handed over for transportation. Basically, in the proposed amendment, they have planned to remove this entire proviso. Okay, please refer the respective RTP to make sure whether this amendment is applicable or not. As of now, it is just proposed. Yes, I will also inform you by way of amendment lecture. Then next one, section number 12.9. Section number 12.9 talks about passenger transport services. Okay, in case of passenger transport services, if the service have been provided to a registered person, give me the answer, everyone. If the services have been provided to a registered person, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Okay, but if the services have been given to an unregistered person, then the place where that passenger embarks, that is, he starts his journey for a continuous journey. Okay, if suppose in case of passenger transport, if suppose a right has been given, okay, where to use that particular transportation services, where the service provider does not know the boarding point, does not know the embarking point, then in such case, if the service has been given to a registered person, no problem, location of recipient will be the place of supply. If the service have been given to an unregistered person, normal person purchasing a metro card, okay, we don't know where the service is going to be utilized. Okay, unregistered person is taking. So if his address is available, then location of the registered person, location of that recipient person. Okay, and if his address is not available, then in that case we are left with no option. So the location of the supplier of service will be the answer. Very clear with this? Okay, whenever there is a return journey, I am going to Delhi to Mumbai again. Okay, this will not be considered as a continuous journey. These will be considered as 2 separate journeys there. Are you clear with this? Then after that, section number 12 subsection 10. Section number 12, subsection 12, simple. Services supplied on board, just like we had done for goods supplied on board. Now services supplied on board. Then in that case, for any particular person, the place of supply is going to be the location of the first scheduled point of departure. Okay, let's say the journey is going to be from Mumbai to Delhi to Dubai. Okay, I have availed those services in the last leg. Still, the place of supply will be the first scheduled point. That is the place from where the that particular conveyance started. That is Mumbai, right? Then after that, the next one, that is section number 1211. Section number 1211 talks about telecommunication services. In telecommunication, we had divided into three parts. First one was that fixed telecommunication line, cable, DTH, etc. So for that, the place of supply will be the location of the installation of that particular device, okay, or the place where that telecommunication line or that leased circuit or that DTH is installed. That will be considered as the place of supply for any particular person. Okay, then we discussed about postpaid. In postpaid, generally my address is there with the telecommunication service provider. So the location of the billing address will become the place of supply, right? That is given here. Okay, if by chance the address is not available, then we are left with no option. Then the location of the supplier will become the place of supply. But generally in case of billing, the address of the recipient is available. Okay, then about prepaid. Okay, if prepaid vouchers are being sold by agents, distributors, etc., then address of that selling agent will be considered as the place of supply. Okay, but if the voucher is sold by a grocery person, means if the voucher is being sold by any person to the final subscriber, then the location where such payment, this prepayment is received, right? And if I do the prepayment, if I do the recharge online by electronic mode, then the location of recipient which is available, that will be the place of supply. Are you clear with this? Yes. So at most of the places, wherever possible, location of the recipient will be considered as a place of supply. If that is not available, worst case, then only it will go to location of the supplier, not otherwise. Okay, then we had discussed about leased circuit, if you remember. Okay, lease circuit generally used by MNCs for private network. Yes, so if the lease circuit is installed in more than one state, okay, if it is installed in more than one state, then you have to do the proportionate thing. Yes, as per the contract or the agreement. If nothing is given in the contract or agreement, then that will be divided in the ratio of number of points of circuit, right? Number of points of circuit in a particular state or union territory. Let's say in Maharashtra there is 1 point, Gujarat there is 1 point. So this will be divided in the ratio of 1:1 between Maharashtra and Gujarat. Are you understanding this? Yes. Then after that, going on to the next section. Everyone with me? Section number 1212 talks about financial and stock broking services. Okay, in this case, the place of supply normally the place of supply will be the location of the recipient available in the books of the supplier. However, if his address is not known, example, we are using any banking service from such a bank where I do not maintain a bank account. Okay, then in such case, if we do not have the location of the recipient available, then what option is available? Place of supply will be the location of the supplier of service. Then after that, section number 1213. In section number 1213, we are talking about insurance services. Okay, very, very important. What did I tell you? In case of insurance services, when the insurance company is providing us the service, it will take our address. So my address, it is deemed that my address will always be available with the insurance company. So the place of supply, in case the services have been given to a registered person, it will be the location of recipient. Okay. If these are provided to any person other than registered person, the place of supply is the location of recipient of the service which is available with the supplier. Okay, see, in case of registered person, my location will be address of the GSTIN. Okay, if in case of unregistered person, look, the place of supply will be location of recipient only, but the location of recipient that is available with the supplier. Then after that, next big thing coming up, section number 12 subsection 14 along with rule number 3. when we have provided any advertisement service, when we have provided any advertisement service to the government, okay, to the central government, state government, local authority, statutory body, etc., then the place of supply will be each of those places wherever the advertisement has been displayed or advertisement have been shown. Okay, then in such cases, can there be multiple states involved? Yes, example, advertisement on TV. Multiple states viewers are seeing it. Okay, advertisement by way of SMS. Multiple telecom users are receiving or seeing that particular SMS, right? So just go and check the contract or the agreement, divide the value of service in proportion to the value as prescribed in the agreement. Means if in agreement it is written 20% is for Maharashtra, 20% is for Gujarat, just divide it accordingly. But the problem arises if nothing is written in the contract or the agreement. Okay, so for that we will have to refer rule number 3. Okay, first one, everyone here. If suppose the advertisement was done in newspapers and publications, etc., so that has to be divided in the ratio of amount payable for respective states. Okay, if we are providing the service to the government, can I say government would have paid us the amount? Government would have paid us the amount, some amount for a particular state, some amount for another state. So on that basis, just divide the total amount. Okay, next one, if the advertisement is done through printed material like pamphlets, brochures, printing it on calendars, printing it on t-shirts, etc. Again, divided, the total amount will be divided on the basis of amount payable for distribution in respective states, right? Next one, advertisements done on hoardings, okay, big hoardings, but other than on trains. Okay, example, a big hoarding outside the railway station, a big hoarding outside the airport, a big hoarding on the highway, etc. Then in that case, again here also, can we say we would have put hoardings in multiple states also? If it is in one state, then no problem. Okay, then no need to refer the rule also. Rule we have to refer only when multiple states are involved. So the amount will be divided on the basis of amount payable for hoardings of different states. Okay, now comes the problem. Okay, fourth one, that is advertisement on trains. Okay, if advertisement on trains have been done, we have done it on behalf of the government, then in that case government would have paid a consolidated amount. This amount will be divided in the ratio of length of railway track in each of the states or union territories. Let's say Delhi to, let's say there is a train coming from Delhi to Goa. Can I say there will be many states coming in between? So whatever is the length of railway track in each of the states, in that ratio the entire amount will be divided. Ma'am, from where will we get the length of the railway track? indianrailway.gov.in. Okay, that website is going to provide you the same. Then if there is any advertisement done on the back of the utility bills like gas, etc., on gas bills, etc., you must have seen some advertisements of the government. Okay, then in that case again the amount will be divided on the basis of amount payable for each state or union territory. Okay, then advertisement of railway ticket, again important. On railway ticket, if there is any government's advertisement, then this amount will be divided in the ratio of number of railway stations. Ratio of number of railway stations in each of such state or union territory. Let's say government has told that all the railway tickets which are sold, okay, all the railway tickets which are sold from Maharashtra, on that we are going to put an advertisement. Okay, and now just try to understand. Okay, just try to understand. There is a particular railway ticket. Okay, there is a particular railway ticket that will be sold from Maharashtra. Okay, in that case, whatever is the let's say it is Maharashtra, government says that all the tickets sold from Maharashtra and Gujarat, okay, for that the advertisement should be printed. So whatever are the number of railway stations in Maharashtra is to the railway stations in Gujarat. In that particular ratio the bifurcations will be done. Okay, then if the advertisement is done on the radio stations is easily bifurcable, because let's say if advertisement is done in Mumbai's railway radio station and let's say Ahmedabad's radio station, so that will be easily determinable. So that goes on the basis of amount payable, that is how much amount is payable to Mumbai FM and how much amount is payable to Ahmedabad FM. Then next one, again super duper important, advertisement on television channels. Okay, if advertisement have been done on television channels by the government, which runs or which is shown in multiple states, then in that case the amount will be divided in the ratio of number of viewers of that particular channel in respective states. Okay, ma'am, from where will we get the number of viewers? Don't worry, BARC, Broadcast Audience Research Council, they will give you the this Broadcast Audience Research Council, they will give you the number of viewers. Ma'am, number of viewers can change from day to day, week to week, month to month. So which number of viewers will we take? We will take the if the supply is done during the current quarter, we will take the numbers of viewers of the last week of the last quarter. Okay, last week of the last quarter, that will be your number of viewers. And let's say number of viewers in Maharashtra is 5,000 and example, and number of viewers in Gujarat is, let's say, 10,000. So the amount will be divided in the ratio of 5,000 and 10,000. Okay, now let's say BARC is giving me viewership figures for a particular region. Okay, it is giving me a combined figure for let's say Mumbai and other parts of Maharashtra, or let's say it is giving me a combined figure for Maharashtra and Goa. Okay, but I want it separately for Maharashtra, I want it separately for Goa, but BARC is giving me combined figure. So just divide this combined figure in the ratio of population as per the latest census. So now you will be having figures for Maharashtra, you will be having the figures for Goa, and you will be having the figures for Gujarat. Are you clear till here? Yes. Then after that, many examples are given. Detailed example is given. You can refer it if you wish to. Then advertisement in cinema halls. Let's say advertisement is done in every show of PVR. So PVR can be there in multiple states where the advertisement will be run. So whatever is the amount payable to respective PVR, in that ratio the amount will be divided. Then again important, advertisement on internet. If the government is doing any advertisement on internet, it is assumed that the ad is run all over India. So how do we divide it in so many states? So it will be dependent upon the number of internet subscribers in each state. Okay, number of internet subscribers. From where will we get that information? That information will be given by TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Ma'am, which day's figure will we take? You will take the figure of the last quarter for determining the proportions for the current quarter. Yes, and again, if TRAI gives you region-wise figure and that region involves more than one state, if TRAI is giving you the figure for Maharashtra and Goa together, and if I want to do the bifurcation, do it on the basis of population of the latest census, right? And the last one. Okay, just remember one more thing. When we were doing about cable, okay, or when we were doing about TV, we took the number of viewers for the last week of the last quarter. Okay, when we are doing it for this thing, internet, we are taking the number of internet subscribers of the last quarter. Okay, total number of internet subscribers in the last quarter. And then the next one, advertisement through SMS, last one. Okay, here also advertisement through SMS means SMS will be going to multiple subscribers, multiple mobile users over different states. So this amount will be divided on the basis of number of telecom subscribers. That figure will be given to us by the TRAI, and this figure will be again of the last quarter for determination of the figures for the current one. Okay, so you will take the number of telecom subscribers of the last quarter, and if the TRAI is giving you figures for a particular region, and if that region has more than one state, then that figure will be divided in the ratio of population. We have also done examples. Okay, in our main lectures also we have done in the full lectures also we have done the examples. Everyone, are you clear with this? Yes, and at the end of it, I'll just show it to you. Yes, at the end of it, the summary of the entire section has been given for your revision. Are you clear till here, everyone? Yes, can we proceed ahead? Yes, after your revision, in your book, you have got your section number 7, 8 and 9. Section number 7 basically talks about interstate supply. That is when the supply of supply will be considered as interstate supply. So section 7.1 says that supply of goods will be considered as interstate when the location of the supplier and the place of supply is located in two different states or two different union territories or one state and one union territory. Then it will be called as interstate supply. Okay, then section number 7.2 was talking about import transaction. When the goods are, supply of goods are imported into the territory of India till they cross the custom barriers of India, then that will be considered as supply of goods in the course of interstate supply, and in that, along with custom duty, your IGST will be applicable. Then section number 7.3, just like 7.1 and 7.2 was talking about goods, 7.3 and 7.4 is going to talk about services. So if the supply, in case of supply of service will be considered as interstate supply of service when the location of the supplier and the place of supply is located in two different states, two different union territories, or one state and one union territory. Right, then next one, section number 7.4 was talking about import of service into India. Okay, there you cannot say till the time it crosses the custom barriers. Supply of service, intangible. Okay, so in that case, supply of service which is imported into the territory of India will be treated as supply of service in case of in the course of interstate supply. Are you clear with this? Yes. So in this case, generally what happens is, if the supplier is located outside India, recipient is there here in India, place of supply is here in India, so it will be called as import of service. Very clear with this? And then section number 7.5. What is section number 7.5 talking about? Very specific section. It is basically talking about export of supply. It can be applicable for both goods and services. When I am there here in India, okay, I am here in India and I am supplying any goods or services to any person who is located outside India, then this will be called, can we say supplier is in India, location of recipient is outside India, place of supply is also outside India. So this gets covered in your kind of export of goods or services. Definitely it has to fulfill the other requirements given under the definition of export also, but this will be called as what? This will be called as interstate supply. Okay, next one, very, very important. Okay, next one, any supply done to a SEZ. Okay, SEZ will be located here in India. Okay, if in India it is located in the same state, okay, I am here in Maharashtra, I am giving the supply to a SEZ which is also located in Maharashtra, but it will be deemed as interstate supply. Okay, any supply given to SEZ or any supply given by SEZ. Okay, supply of goods or supply of service, that is deemed to be an interstate supply. Okay, you will face confusion. Okay, you will face confusion if they have given you an example that you are situated in Mumbai, Maharashtra, SEZ is also situated in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and you are giving them supply of goods or services. Doesn't matter. Okay, even if it is Maharashtra, but you are giving it to SEZ. Okay, SEZ is considered as outside India. So this will be considered as interstate supply, and therefore IGST is going to be applicable. Are you clear with this? Yes, and any supply of goods and services in taxable territory, but which is not getting covered under intrastate supply, that we will study in the next section. Okay, if it is not getting covered under intrastate supply, then in that case it is a residuary provision. Therefore, they are treating it as interstate supply itself. Very clear with this? Yes. Similarly, they have given you section number 8 also. Section number 8 talks about intrastate supply. Okay, it talks about intrastate supply. That is when the location of the supplier and the place of supply both is in the same state or union territory, then it will be considered as intrastate supply. In that, section number 8.1, which talks about supply of goods. Okay, supply of goods where the location of the supplier and the place of supply is in the same state or union territory, then such supply will be called as intrastate supply. But three cases will never be called as intrastate supply, even if both of them are in the same state or union territory. One is, we have already studied, SEZ, Mumbai to SEZ Mumbai. Okay, even though both of them are in the same state, still since it is given to SEZ, it will not be considered as intrastate. It will be deemed as interstate under section number 7. Okay, next one, goods imported into the territory of India till they cross the custom frontiers of India. Let's say I imported the goods via Mumbai port and then I am getting it into my Mumbai office. Doesn't matter. Okay, you are getting it from Mumbai port to Mumbai office. Doesn't matter. The goods have been actually imported, and import was already considered as an interstate supply. Okay, and the last one, when you're supplying any goods to a foreign tourist, okay, you're supplying any goods to a foreign tourist at that time, okay, that will never be considered as the intrastate supply. Tourist means what? Any person is normally not going to stay here in India. He has come to India for a vacation. He is going to stay in India for a maximum period of 6 months. And if you are supplying any goods to him, even though the supply is done within the same state, okay, the tourist is standing outside your office and you are supplying him, then that will never be considered as intrastate supply. That will always be considered as interstate supply, and you have to apply IGST. Very clear with this? Okay, then going on to section number 8.2. Section number 8.2, similar section talking about the services. Okay, that was talking about the services. Same provision that is applicable. Okay, and yes, if you have provided any services also to SEZ, then that exception will be applicable. Wherever you see SEZ, it will be considered as interstate supply. Very clear till here. Okay. And the next one, everyone here, the next one, whenever you are providing any supply to your establishment of distinct persons, okay, if you are providing any service to establishment of distinct person, maybe it is located here in India, or maybe it is located in the same state, or maybe it is located in other state, or maybe it is located outside India, that will always be considered as intrastate. Okay, do not consider it as export. Let's say it is located outside India, please do not consider it as an export, because we have that is totally excluded from the definition of export. Okay, and then after that there was a small circular that if accommodation services for lodging accommodation services for conduct of any conference, etc., if that service have been provided to SEZ, then which provision will apply? So general specific provisions will always override the general one. So if the services have been given to SEZ, then that is always considered as interstate supply, and therefore the service provider is required to apply IGST on such service, right? And the next one, last one, that is section number 9. Section number 9 talks about supplies done in territorial waters. If the location of the supplier or the place of supply, if either of it is in the territorial waters, okay, then we have to check which state's territorial water is it. Okay. Now, for example, if the location of the supplier, okay, or let's say if the place of supply is in the territorial waters, then you have to check which state is having the nearest appropriate baseline. Okay, let's say if some services are provided in waters, okay, and there is Maharashtra waters also and there is Goa waters also, then you have to check what will be the place of supply. So the nearest point, okay, nearest point of the appropriate baseline, that is if Mumbai baseline is near or Goa baseline is near, or Maharashtra baseline is near or Goa baseline is near, you have to check that. If suppose Maharashtra baseline is near, then the place of supply will be considered to be Maharashtra. Are you clear with this? Yes. So till here. Acha, and after that the proposed amendment thing is written, that we have already discussed in case of, that was applicable in case of transportation of. Everyone, are you clear till here? Yes. Okay, let's continue ahead with the other two sections, everyone. Till now we have done section number 7, 8, 9, that was the common section. Okay, section number 10 and 12 we have done. In both the cases we were only talking about domestic supply of goods and domestic supply of services, right? Now let's talk about cross-border transaction, that is there is going to be an international supply of goods or services, for which we have got a few definitions coming up. Can you see here, everyone? First definition is going to talk about export of goods. Export of goods has to be taken as per the name, that is taking the goods outside India. From India the goods are taken outside India. Okay, similarly for export of services, the definition is going to be very, very crucial. For export, to treat a particular supply of goods as export, then in that case 5 conditions must be fulfilled. Okay, export of services. Can we say the supplier of service, the person who is giving the service, that person should be located here in India? Yes. The recipient of the service should be located outside India. The place of supply should be outside India. The money, the consideration should be received in convertible foreign exchange, or in some cases, if RBI allows, then it can be received in INR also. And these two people, the supplier of the service and recipient, should not be merely establishment of distinct persons. Okay, then in such a case, If all the 5 conditions are fulfilled, then such a service can be called as export of service. Very clear with this? Yes. Okay. Then they had given a circular. Okay. What was that circular? Let's say if there is a company incorporated here in India, and let's say there is another corporate incorporated outside India as per the laws of the foreign country. Okay, so in that case they are telling that, okay, let's say it is holding and subsidiary company. One company, holding company is in India, but its subsidiary company, can we say it is related? Yes, subsidiary company is incorporated. It is not simply having a branch outside India. That subsidiary company got incorporated outside India as per the foreign laws. So just because these two are related does not mean that these are establishment of distinct persons. So they are separate legal entities. So this cannot be considered as establishment of distinct persons. So if there is any export of service given by this Indian company to that, then that can be considered as export of services if other 4 conditions are fulfilled. Very clear with this? Yes. And then after that, let's go to the next one. Next definition is of import of goods. Okay, next definition is of import of goods. See what are they telling for import of goods? Normal definition. Import of goods, just like export of goods we had studied, import of goods will be bringing of goods into India from the other country. Are you clear with this? Yes. Then import of services. Can you tell me for import of services? Import of services means service provider. Service provider is or service supplier is located outside India. Service recipient is located here in India, and the place of supply should be in India. Then we can say that this particular transaction will come under the term called as import of services, right? Okay, next definition is going to be of intermediary. Okay, in case of intermediary can be any person. We can call that person as an agent, as a broker, or whatever name you want to give that person. This person is just helping 2 important persons to enter into a transaction. Means he is facilitating the transaction. He is facilitating the supply of goods or services. That is, one person is giving. Okay, there are 2 persons. This person is the seller, this person is the purchaser. He is going to supply his goods or services to the other person. Yes, and now this intermediary is just going to help these 2 to enter into that particular transaction. Okay, and I am not even issuing the invoices on my own name. Okay, this supplier is going to directly invoice to the purchaser, and purchaser is directly going to pay to the supplier. I am just helping them to connect. Okay, or I am helping the supplier to find the purchaser, or I am helping the purchaser to find the supplier. That's why I will be called as an intermediary here. Okay, he is, just try to understand, I am not supplying the goods on my own account. Okay, the supply is made between these 2 persons. I am just an intermediary. I'll be just charging my commission, right? Then the next one is talking about OIDR services. OIDR services are those services which are generally given online. Okay, these are the services which are generally given online with the help of internet, and in such services the human intervention, manual intervention is at its lowest. Okay, minimum human intervention is possible. Now in that case, you can talk about Google Drive storage services, or you can talk about cloud web services. Then you can talk about movies or services, on-demand movie services, on-demand music services. Netflix example we have been taken for this OIDR. Online gaming, etc. The software, etc. is already developed. You just pay for the service, play, and it's over. Right? Then these are your some basic general definitions. You can just ignore it, at least now for the purpose of revision. Okay, if you have done it once during your studies, that much is sufficient. Okay, export of service definition is to be remembered anyhow. Okay, export of service definition. Now let's go to the next section, everyone. 2 sections that we have to cover, section number 11 and section number 13. Okay, now section number 11 is going to talk about goods. Okay, section number 11 is going to talk about goods, where the goods are either imported into the country or goods are exported. It is very simple. In case when the goods are imported, the place, now we have to determine the place of supply. Okay, when the goods are imported into the country, the place of supply will be the location of the importer. Yes, the place of supply will be the location of the importer, and whenever the goods are exported from India to the other country, the place of supply will be the location outside India. Okay, place of supply will be the location outside India where the goods have been exported. Okay, this is given under which section number? This is given under section number 11. You remember we had done section number 10. Section number 10 was talking about place of supply in case of goods but domestic transactions. Section number 11, goods but international transactions. Very clear with this? Okay, then going on to the next one. Then going on to the next one, that is section number 13. Section number 13, you have to now link with section number 12. Okay, section number 12 was talking about services, but there both of them, supplier as well as recipient, both of them were located here in India. Okay, now in this case, when will section 13 become applicable? When the location of the recipient or the location of the supplier or recipient, any one of them is outside India. Okay, any one of them is outside India, then we can say that section 12 is not applicable and section 13 becomes applicable. Okay, that is told in section number 13.1 that any one of them will be located outside India. 13.2 as corresponding to 12.2. Okay, 13.2 is the by default general rule provision, that is if you are not falling under any of the specific provisions from section 13.3 to 13.13. If you are not falling from section 13.3 to 13.13, then in that case, place of supply in your case will be determined as per section number 13.2. Now, how to determine the place of supply as per section 13.2? Now, if the services have been provided, okay, if the services have been provided, then if there is any supply of services, then in that case, if the place of supply will be the location of the recipient if we have the address available. If we don't have the address available, what is the only option left with us? The only option left with us is to take the place of supply as location of the supplier. Very clear with this? Okay. Then after that, the next one. Okay, the next one. Section number 13.3. Let's go to the next one. Everyone here. This is your section number 13.2. Now let's start with the specific provisions. Everyone, are you there with me? Yes? Okay, now let's start with section number 13.3. Very, very important. Section number 13.3 and rule number 7. Okay, now this is talking about performance-based services. That is some service which will involve doing something. That is performance-based. Now, if some services have been provided on goods, maybe repair services, etc. If there are some services provided and such services require physical presence of the goods, okay, then the place of supply will be the place where the service have been actually performed. Okay, if suppose the service have been performed here in India by bringing the goods here in India, then the place of supply will be India. Okay, but there was an exception here. Okay, there was an exception here. Let's say you are importing some goods into the country. For what purpose? For doing repair on it or for doing some process on it, and it is not going to be used in India. Rather, you are going to send it back immediately after repair or process. Means it is going to come into India temporarily. In such a case, go with the by default provision. Go with the by default provision means the place of supply will be the location of the recipient if available. If recipient location is not available, then only the location of supplier of service by default provision. Right? Acha, then let's say if you want to provide services on some goods, but physical presence of the goods is not required, that service can be provided online. Okay, so the service can be provided online. Then the place of then the place of supply will be the location. Okay, place of supply will be the location where the goods are situated. Okay, where the goods are situated at the time when we are providing the online service. Okay, can I say if the goods are kept with you and I am providing you online service from here, then the place of supply will be your place because the goods are kept at your place. Then if the services are being provided to an individual, okay, services are being provided to an individual which requires physical presence of the recipient, then normal physical presence, the location where the service has been actually performed. Okay, now listen, if suppose the service have been provided in multiple countries, including India, including a taxable territory, then the place of supply has to be the taxable territory. Are you clear with this? Example, if service have been provided in Dubai and India, okay, Dubai and India, place of supply will be India. Okay, if in India, if the service, let's say if the service have been provided in Dubai, Mumbai and Ahmedabad, place of supply will be Mumbai and Ahmedabad. Are you able to understand this? Yes. Okay, so there was a circular also. There was a circular for that. Cutting and polishing of diamonds. Let's say you are importing uncut and unpolished diamonds. After bringing into India, you take it to Surat. Okay, you take it to Surat, Gujarat hub, diamond city. Okay, there you do the polishing, cutting and all those things, and then it will be sent back again. Okay, and then it will be sent back again. So can we say here the place of supply will be as per the by default provisions, that is as per section number 12(2). Very clear till here? Yes. Okay. Then after that, yes. Now listen. Can we say whenever physical presence of goods is required, or whenever physical presence of any individual is required for providing of any services, then in that case, what was the place of supply? The place of supply was the place where the services actually performed. Can there be a possibility that services performed in more than one state? Okay, when the place of supply is India, in India, can there be a possibility that the service is provided in more than one state? Okay, in Mumbai also and in Gujarat also. So how will you do the bifurcation? The bifurcation, try to recollect from section number 12 now. The bifurcation will be done in accordance with the provisions or the proportions which are written in the contract or the agreement. What if the agreement is totally silent? What if the agreement is totally silent or nothing is written in the agreement? Then what is going to happen? Then in that case, we'll have to follow the rules. That is rule number 7 we have to check. Okay, now just try to understand. If the service have been given in two different states but on the same goods, okay, on one goods it was given, then it was given on the same goods but in the other state, then in that case equally divide the value. Okay, suppose if on a particular machinery, the service was given in Mumbai also, service was given in Gujarat also, Ahmedabad, Gujarat also, on the same goods. So whatever is the total value, there will be some consideration, whatever is the total value, divide it, equally divided. Okay, if 3 states, 1:1:1. Okay, now next, if the services are supplied on different goods. Okay, till now it was the same goods but in different states. Now if the services are supplied by us on different goods in different states. Okay, let's say in Mumbai the service was provided on X plant and machinery, and in Ahmedabad the service was provided on Y plant and machinery. Then in that case, now you cannot do equal because the value of these machinery will be different. So it will go in the ratio of invoice value of this machinery. If this machinery is of 10 crore, if this machinery is of 50 crore, so it will go in the ratio of 10:50 or 1:5. Okay, and last one, if the services have been given to an individual. Okay, if the services are given to an individual in multiple states, okay, to an individual in multiple states, then they are telling that simply use the generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, are you able to understand this, everyone? Yes, many examples are given in your book. Okay, this is super quick revision, so we cannot consider the examples here. Then too, I'm trying to give one or two, but if there is any confusion in any particular part, just immediately, you can, anyway you're watching a video, just pause it, refer to the example given below that particular provision and then go ahead. Okay, then after that, going on to the next section, that is section number 13, subsection 4. 13 subsection 4 was talking about services in relation to immovable property. Okay, we have already seen immovable property under section 12(3) also, if I am not wrong. Yes, in section number 12(3) we had seen. So what will be the place of supply in this case? The place of supply will be the place where the immovable property, wherever the immovable property is located. Did we do the same thing? For that also? For domestic also? Yes. Okay. So it will be the location of such immovable property, but there we had studied that if the immovable property is located outside India, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient, right? Chalo, now just try to understand, everyone here, just try to understand. In case either the supplier or recipient, any one of them is located outside India. Okay, if any one of them is located outside India and if there is any supply of service in relation to immovable property, then the place of supply will be the location of immovable property. Okay, if the location of immovable property is here in India, then India will be the place of supply. If the location of immovable property is outside India will be the place of supply. No problem in this. Okay, but if the services are supplied in relation to an immovable property in respect of multiple states. Okay, let's say interior decorator services for Pune immovable property and for Dubai immovable property. Then in that case, what will happen? Okay, then in that case, what is going to happen? If one of the location is in taxable territory, and one is other than taxable territory, then the place of supply will be the taxable territory. Okay, we have done this before also. And if in taxable territory, let's say the interior decorator services have been provided in Pune, in Ahmedabad and in Dubai, can I say place of supply will be India? In India, it will be now Pune and Ahmedabad, that is Maharashtra and Gujarat. So how will you divide? Now we'll have to divide. Na? So first option, go and refer the contract or agreement, divide in the proportionate value. If nothing is specified, in your contract or agreement, then they are telling that please go and refer. Okay, then they are telling that please go and refer rule number 8. Do you recollect? What is there in rule number 8? No, ma'am, we don't recollect. Why? Because rule number 8 is a new one. Rule number 8 says that please go and refer do the bifurcation as per rule number 4. Okay, how did we do the bifurcation in rule number 4? Do you recollect? If the on the basis of number of nights stayed, remember that? Number of nights stayed, then area of that immovable property, and time spent in the houseboat, and same way you have to do the bifurcation here as well. Then after that, the next one, everyone here. Yes, section number 13.5 and rule number 9. What is given in section number 13.5? In section number 13.5, they are talking about admission to any events and organization of the event. Both are covered in this one. Okay, so if we are talking about giving entry to any particular event, cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational events, etc., then in that case, the place of supply will be the place where the event is actually held. Okay, when we are talking about what if the particular services, okay, now here both are included. Admission to the event is also included and organization of event is also included. If any of the services given, the place of supply will be the place where the event is actually held. If the event is held in multiple places and one of the places is India, then the place of supply will be India. If in India also there are multiple places, okay, if in India also if there are multiple places, then what will happen? Place of supply will be those respective states. Okay, now if there are respective states coming, can I say we'll have to do the bifurcations now? So that bifurcation will be done as per the contract or agreement. If the contract or agreement is totally silent about it or ignorant about it, then they are telling that please do the bifurcation as per rule number 9. Ma'am, what is told in rule number 9? In rule number 9, they are telling that please go and refer rule number 5. Ma'am, what was there in rule number 5? Bifurcation is to be done as per generally accepted accounting principles. Example, I had given you 3 events in Maharashtra, 3 events in Gujarat. It will be divided in the ratio of 3:3. Remember, I had given you the example of 3:5. Okay. Then section number 13.6 and 37. Yes, everyone, can you see this? Section number 13.6 and 13.7, very, very simple. Section number 13.6 says that whenever the services are provided, whenever the above services, that is 13.3, 13.4 and 13.5. Okay, what was section 13.3? 13.3 was talking about performance-based services. 13.4 was talking about immovable property related services. And 13.5 is talking about organization or admission to such events. Those services, if these are provided in more than one location, including India or including a taxable territory, then the place of supply will be the location in the taxable territory. Section 13.7 says that if in India also if it is provided in multiple states or union territories, then in that case divide the amount accordingly on the basis of rules that we have just now studied. Then after that, going on to the next service, that is section number 13 subsection 8. Section 13 subsection 8 talks about banking and financial services, intermediary services, stockbroking services, etc. will be included, and hiring of transport services. So in any of these services, okay, now hiring of transport means, let's say we have hired it from outside India, any particular mode of transport except aircraft and vessel. Okay, except aircraft and vessel, including yachts. Yachts will be included. Okay, for a maximum period of 1 month. So if either you have either there is a supply of banking services, financial services supplied by banks, financial institutions, NBFCs, etc., or there are any services supplied by intermediary. Okay, by intermediary, or if any services including hiring services. If any of these services are supplied, then the place of supply, very, very important, very, very important. The place of supply will be location of supplier of service. Place of supply will be location of supplier of service. Are you clear with this? Okay, so wherever the supplier is situated, that will be considered as the location of the supply. And that will be considered as a place of supply. Yes, just remember yours, that is very, 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 very important, can be tested in the exam also. Okay, and yes, also remember for intermediary services. In case of intermediary definition, we have already discussed. Intermediary services is that agent person who is not doing the transaction on his own account. Yes, okay. Then after that, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one, everyone. Section number 13.9, section 13.10 and section 13.11. 3 sections. Section 13.9. Section 13.9 talks about transportation of goods. Okay, transportation of goods otherwise than by mail or courier. Section 13.10 talks about passenger transportation service, and section number 13.11 talks about services provided on board. Right, just like goods were sold on board, similarly services provided on board. So in this case, okay, in case of transportation of goods, the place of supply will be destination of such goods. Place of supply will be destination of such goods. Then in case of transportation of passengers, then same, the place where the passenger embarks, he starts his journey. And in case of services supplied on board, the first scheduled point of departure, that was same as section number 12, right? Whenever you are revising, try to compare it with section number 12. Try to compare it with section number 12. What will happen, you know? You will become very crystal clear. Okay, you will become very crystal clear. Acha, this was a provision in section number 12. This is the provision in section number 13. Okay, then after that, section number 13, subsection 12, that is talking about OIDR services. In case of OIDR services that is being received, okay, then in such case, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient of the service. Okay, place of supply will be the location of the recipient of the service. Now, how will we say that the location of the recipient of service is in India? Okay, let's say I have received some OIDR services. Okay, Arpita has received some OIDR services from US. Okay, now this is, everything is online. Okay, everything is online. So how can you prove that the services are being utilized here in India, or the recipient is here in India? So for that, they have given you 7 conditions. Okay, for that they have given you 7 conditions, and out of these 7 conditions, they are telling you that if at least 2 conditions out of those 7 conditions have been fulfilled, then it can be said that place of recipient is India. Ma'am, what are those conditions? First one, the recipient who is using the service, that person gives an Indian address, or he does the payment through an Indian card, or Indian IP address is used, or he gives the address as Indian billing address. Okay, or +91, that SIM card, country code of SIM card is India. Okay, country code is India, or the services are received through Indian landline. Okay, services are received through Indian landline, or the recipient uses Indian bank account for doing the payment. If any 2 conditions out of these 7 are fulfilled, then we can say that the recipient is an Indian person. And if recipient is an Indian person, then as already studied, the place of supply of OIDR. Okay, place of supply of OIDR services will be the location of the recipient of the service. Very clear with this? Okay. And then the last one, that is section number 13.13. Everyone with me. Section number 13.13 are some specific notified services by the government. Okay, specific notified services by the government, where the government says that we will avoid double taxation, we will prevent non-taxation, and government says that in such cases, the place of supply, okay, there are some 2-3 services. In such cases, the place of supply will be the place where that particular service has been actually used, effectively used and enjoyed. Okay, now let's say if we are carrying on, any research and development services. Okay, we are doing any research and development services relating to pharmaceutical sector, sector. Okay, this helped during COVID. This provision helped during COVID. So whenever we are doing any research and development services in India itself, related to that pharmaceutical sector, etc. Means we are providing some services on some goods, some testing, etc. is done. Then can I say as per section number 12.3, as per section number 12.3, the place of supply where the physical presence of goods is required, the place of supply will be the place where the goods are, where the service is actually performed. Okay, so if the research and development is actually performed here in India, as per that provision, the place of supply should have been India only. Yes, but government says that in such case, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient of service. Means the person who has outside India, the recipient of the service outside India, he has told me to do the research and development here in India. I am the supplier, he is the recipient. His location will be considered as the place of supply. So can I say this will be considered as export of service and export benefits will be available. Are you understanding? But two conditions to be fulfilled. Okay, what are the two conditions? First one, you have to provide all the service as per the contract. Okay, whatever contract was there between you and him. And next one, you have to fulfill all the other clauses of export of services definition also. Okay, supplier is here in India, recipient is outside India, place of supply, location of the recipient. Okay, outside India. Money should be received in convertible foreign exchange, except in some cases RBI can tell that money can be received in INR and you should not be merely establishment of distinct persons. So definition should also be fulfilled except that place of supply, because place of supply point is deemed here. What is the place of supply here? Place of supply is not India. Place of supply here is location of the recipient. Okay, so if we are providing specifically research and development services in relation to pharmaceutical sector, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. And similarly, whenever there is any supply, either import or export, okay, whenever there is any supply of MRO service, maintenance, repair or overall service in respect of aircraft engine, aircraft components or ships or vessels or their engines, okay, either we are availing their service, okay, our airline company, our shipping company is availing their service, or vice versa, they are availing our service. Okay, then in that case, can we say here also, as per section number 12.3, the place of supply should be the place where the service is actually performed. The place where the service is actually performed. So let's say if they are availing our service, okay, let's say they are availing our service, means their aircraft is here in India and we are doing some repair etc. work on it, then the place of supply as per section number 12.3 should have been the place where the service is actually performed, that is India. But they are telling no, place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Location of recipient is outside India. This supply will be considered as export provision. But can I say we are going to get a punishment when it is going to be a vice versa thing? Okay, imagine Indigo Airlines, its aircraft is in Dubai and they are getting their repair maintenance service getting in Dubai. So now here location of recipient is India. So this will be considered as import of service. Are you understanding this? That is the problem. Okay, this is all that we have studied in all the sections from section number 7 to section number 13, and then we had got some circulars, we had got some clarifications coming up, everyone. Let's go to that. Acha, before that, once this particular section is done, after that the summary is also included in your book. Okay, then I'm going directly to the clarifications. Everyone, can you see this? Yes, now listen, in case of place of supply of satellite launch services, now this is connected to a previous circular which was issued in the year 2017. Now there are many companies, okay, generally government owned companies, there are many wholly owned government subsidiaries etc. That whenever these companies are providing satellite launch services, okay, satellite launch services to the customers, then in that case even that is also considered as a supply. Now it was already decided, okay, in one of the circulars issued in the year 2017 that whenever Antariksh Corporation Limited, okay, it was a company specific circular, whenever Antariksh Corporation Limited is providing satellite launch services to its international customers, then international customers, then in that case supply of service or the place of supply of service will be calculated as per section number 13.6. Okay, sorry, it will be calculated as per section number 13.9. 13.9 means they were taking it as transportation of goods. Like many things go into the space and then they capture it and all they study and do all those things. Okay, so that was considered as the place of destination. Place of destination is space that is outside India. So they were telling that this was considered as export of service and therefore zero rated supply. This was already decided. This is not that I am teaching you. This was already discussed in the circular. Now same service of satellite launch service was given by New Space India Limited, NSIL, a wholly owned Government of India company. So they are telling that the same circular which was applicable to Antariksh Limited, same will be applicable to NSIL because the type of transaction is the same. Okay, next one is supply in respect of various cargo handling services provided by the ports, custom ports, etc., or port of India's, etc., to the clients. Okay, so this service, cargo handling service, this was not included in any of the loading services, unloading services, taking it to the side and all those things. If these services are provided by the code, these were nowhere covered in the specific services. From 13.3 to 13.13 or 12.3 to 12.14, it was nowhere covered. If it was nowhere covered, then we will either use section number 12.2 or we will use section number 13.2. Okay, that is by default provision. Then after that, the next one, the third one. Check what is the third one. Third one was talking about place of supply in case of software or design services. Software or design services relating to ESDM industry. ESDM stands for Electronic Semiconductor and Design Manufacturing Industry. Okay, now listen, just try to understand what are they trying to tell us here. Okay, just try to understand. Now let's say I am providing some software development services. Okay, I am providing some software development services for a particular company which is located outside India. Okay, and like I am designing a particular integrated circuit for them. I am going to put my software there and then I am going to export it. Okay, this is software. Okay, this is software, or this is a particular chip, or this is a particular circuit. Okay, I am providing these services. So can I say here I am providing some services. Okay, I am providing some services, and these services are such that where I am not working on any goods. Okay, where I am not working on any particular goods. Yes. So physical presence of the goods is not required, etc. And can we say section 13.3 does not apply at all? Okay, because I am developing something, I am developing a software and giving. So can I say software development was nowhere there in our specific services, so it will fall under section number 13.2. Yes, so normally section 13.2 will be applicable and the location of recipient will be the place of supply. Okay, now listen, what happened was I prepared this particular software and then I asked that particular company, this software you will install where, or this IC you will install where. So they said that we will install it in our mobile phones, or we will install it in our computer, or we will install it in our machinery. I told them, please send me a prototype of it, please send me a sample of it, so that I will just test it whether my software is working or not. Okay, so they sent me a prototype and I checked my software and I sent it back. Okay, so now here the question that arose was, are we also providing them the testing services? Answer is, the decision that was taken in this particular circular was, here the testing service is an ancillary service that is done, and here I have done this testing just to check the authenticity of my software and not to check the authenticity of their hardware. So this entire process will be considered as a composite supply, one single supply, and section number 13.2 will be applicable for the entire thing. You cannot say that you called the hardware, So physical presence of good is required and you provided some service? No. Your main service was what? Your main service was development of the software and you simply did it. Okay, so only section 13.2 will be applicable here. Section 13.3 will not be applicable. Understanding this? Yes. And the last one talks about intermediary services. Intermediary services, there are few things that you need to understand in case of intermediary services. First thing, okay, first point, there are three parties. Whenever intermediary transaction takes place, there are three parties. Okay, two main parties are there, supplier and recipient. Okay, and third one is the intermediary. So intermediary, including intermediary, there will be three persons here. Then only you can say that yes, intermediary is there. Okay, then there are two different supplies, or we can say there are two different transactions that are happening. One is the main supply, that is supplier is selling the goods to the recipient, that is main supply. Okay, and another supply is of the intermediary. Can I say intermediary will be charging commission from either of the party? So intermediary is providing service to one of the supplier, that is another supply. That supply will be called as intermediary service supply. Yes. Acha, next one, intermediary service provider. As you can see here on the board, everyone, intermediary service provider, he is going to have the characteristic of an agent, broker, etc. Okay, he is just facilitating the transaction between two persons. He is not doing the transaction on his own account. That is given here in the fourth point. And the next one, very, very important, subcontracting. Always remember, subcontracting is not an intermediary service. Okay, let's say there is a Zumba provider. Okay, let's say there is a Zumba service provider. Now there is a service provider enters into an agreement with you, says that okay, we will conduct 12 sessions in a month. I said okay, no problem. Okay, we will conduct 12 sessions in a month, you pay me the fees. Now I was not keeping well for the entire month, so I gave this work to another Zumba instructor. I subcontracted the work to another Zumba instructor. Now, is that person an intermediary? No, that person is going to give the main supply. So that person cannot be called as a intermediary. That person will be called as a subcontractor. Are you clear? So the one who is actually providing the main service, that person can never be called as an intermediary. Right? And the last one, this specific provision of intermediary service will be invoked. This will be done. This we have studied in section number 13, right? So when are you going to apply these provisions? Only when section 13 is applicable. And when is section number 13 applicable? When either the supplier or the recipient, any one of them is situated outside India. Okay, in only such a case, section number 13 and the respective subsection, I think 13.8 was there, right? 13.8, yes. And then the respective section 13.8 will become applicable. Are you able to understand this, everyone? Yes, done and done. Did you understand the entire chapter? If yes, do let me know. Okay, so let's start with the amendments of place of supply chapter. Basic provisions we had already considered. Come to, yes, in section number 10. In section number 10, we had discussed about place of supply of goods. Okay, we had in section number 10, it was about goods, and that too other than import export. Okay, in that we had studied various sections, subsections, etc. In that, one new point has been inserted, that is section 10.1 clause CA. Okay, one was normal where it involved movement of goods, then when there was no movement of goods involved, then in case of bill to ship to model, etc. we had considered there. Now section 10.1 CA, very simple provision. Now here they are talking about place of supply of goods which is purchased over the counter. Okay, over the counter in one state and transported to another state. Okay, transported to another state by the buyer. Now, what do you mean by this? Now, let's say I am here in Maharashtra. Okay, I go as a tourist. Okay, I go as a tourist to Gujarat, let's say for example, and from there, from a particular shop, I buy some goods. Okay, I buy some goods from there and then I put it in transport for Maharashtra, for my place again. Okay, So now can we say I am just traveling to the other place. There I am over the counter. I am randomly going to a shop. I am purchasing some goods from there and then I am transporting it back. Okay, buyer is transporting it to its own state. Now in this case, what will the shopkeeper do? Okay, what will be the place of supply for the supplier in such cases? He has given the goods in his own state. Okay, but ultimately the goods are going to some other state. Can we say the supplier sold the goods in the state of Gujarat only? Right, but ultimately the goods are getting transported to Maharashtra. So what will be the place of supply in such cases? What will be the place of supply in such cases? Okay, so in this case they are telling that in such case, now can we say the sale is going to be to an unregistered person? Okay, in such a case they are telling that where the address of the unregistered person is recorded in the invoice. Okay, when I am going and purchasing it, when I say that okay, I am from Maharashtra, and if he is writing Maharashtra in the invoice that he is giving, then in that case location is Maharashtra, place of supply is going to be Maharashtra in such a case. Okay, but where I am not telling him that I am from Maharashtra, okay, that is my address is not recorded in the invoice, then in that case, then we are left with no other option. Then the place of supply will be the location of the supplier, that is Gujarat in our example. Are you clear with this? Okay, and in this case, simply mentioning the state of unregistered person, yes, he need not ask the full address from me because I am an unregistered person. He can just take my state. Okay, if he asks me, Arpita, what is your state? From where are you? Ultimately, where are you going to take these goods? I say that I am from Maharashtra. So if he writes Maharashtra in the invoice, then the place of supply will be Maharashtra. Okay, but if he is just writing sales made to Arpita, okay, then in such a case, the place of supply will be the location of the supplier, that is Gujarat. Okay, this is a practical thing. This is a very practical issue which many people used to face. So for that, now this provision has been inserted. Are you clear, everyone? Yes, this was one particular new provision that was inserted. Then after that, the next provision, next amendment. Okay, this we have already considered. Okay, this we have already considered. Section number 12(8). Okay, where it was talking about transportation of goods. Remember, it was, first of all, it is talking about place of supply in case of services. Okay, services was provided by way of transportation of goods to if it was provided to a registered person. Okay, delivery is providing me the service of transportation of goods. I am a registered person. Location will be my place. That is location of the recipient. Okay, the person who is receiving this particular service. But when the services are provided to the unregistered person, then the place of supply was the place where the goods are handed over for transportation. This we had studied. Okay, in that there was a proposed amendment that what if the transportation of goods is going to take place outside India? Then they had earlier told that the place of supply will be the place of destination of such goods, that is outside India. But now they have totally cut that note and they are telling that nothing doing. Okay, you don't have to see where the goods are going to go. You just have to see whether the person is a registered person to whom you are providing the service of transportation, or that person is an unregistered person. That much is sufficient, and on that basis you will determine what will be the place of supply. Okay, example, let's say there is a delivery company called as Delivery. Okay, Delivery is providing the services to Arpita. Okay, because Arpita wants to send some goods to USA. Okay, then in that case, where I am sending the goods is totally irrelevant. Okay, delivery is providing the service to a registered person. So place of supply will be the location of such recipient. Are you clear with this? We are not concerned where the goods are going. Are you clear with this? This we had already considered in the lecture. So, but now this is a confirmed amendment applicable for the examinations. So here is the example also given for that. Then after that, the next one. Yes, now there was a clarification. Okay, there was a clarification which they have brought for the purpose of advertising sector. Okay, for the purpose of advertising sector. Do you recollect for advertising services provided to government? Okay, when the services were provided to government, for that we had seen a big thing, if you recollect. Section number 12(14). Do you recollect? Advertisement services provided to government, and then we were doing that proportionate value when depending upon the type of advertisement that was done. Okay, now here they are talking about normal advertising, not specifically provided to the government. Now see what are they telling. They have raised two issues for which they have provided some clarification. See if you can understand this. Okay, now listen. Now they are telling that advertising companies are often involved in procuring, acquiring space on hoardings, billboards, big billboards, hoardings, etc., which are erected on building land in different states from different suppliers for providing advertising services to its clients. Okay, now let's say there is an advertising company. Okay, let's say there is an advertising company and which approaches me. Okay, I am the client which approaches me that, okay, Arpita, we can provide you advertisement services. Okay, I ask them that where will you put my hoarding? So they say that we have got some space on the terrace of this building. Okay, we have got some space on that particular highway. You must have seen, na? So now this space actually doesn't belong to the advertisement company. Okay, let's assume that this space belongs to some third person, that is to some vendors. Okay, example, in many cases the hoardings are put on the buildings also. So the building does not belong to the advertisement company. Okay, the building belongs to that cooperative society who is going to provide the space to the advertisement company to provide the advertisement services. Right? So now in this case, now what is the issue which arose in this case? Now they are asking what will be the GST structure in this case, or how will you determine the place of supply in this case? Okay, so now they are asking a question to us here. There may be a case wherein there is a supply of space or supply of rights to use that space. Who is going to give this supply? Who is going to give the right to whom? Vendor. This vendor is going to give the right to that advertisement company to use that space and put the client's advertisement there, right? So that space is belonging to the vendor and which we are giving it to the advertisement company for display of their advertisement. Now here they are asking what will be the place of supply. Like, will the place of supply will be the location of the vendor, or will it be of the advertisement company? Will it be of the client, or will it be the place where that advertisement is done? What will be the place of supply? So for that they are telling that since you are using an immovable property, okay, building, land, etc., since you are using an immovable property to provide such service, then in that case for this you will have to go and refer section number 12.3. 12.3 was the place of supply where you are using the immovable property, services supplied directly in relation to an immovable property. In that case, the place of supply was the location at which such immovable property is located. Okay, so the place where that hoarding is going to be fixed, that place will be called as the place of supply. Are you clear with this? So the place of supply will be the location where such hoarding or structure is located. Normal, logical also. Yes. Now in that only they got another issue. Okay, what was this another issue? Now let's say there is another case where the advertising company wants to display its advertisement on hoardings or billboards at a specific location, availing the services of a vendor. Now there is a vendor who is having that space. Okay, there is an advertisement company who is having a client. Client tells to the advertisement company that I want to use that hoarding and I want to put my advertisement there. Okay, advertisement company approaches the vendor and it tells to the vendor that please put my client's advertisement there. Okay, please put my client's advertisement there. This is told by whom to whom? This is told by advertisement company to vendor. Now in this case, you know what is happening? Everything is the responsibility of the vendor. Okay, this advertisement company is kind of acting like an agent only. Okay, everything is going to be arranged by that vendor. That location will be arranged by that vendor. You know, making of that poster, displaying the ad there, every work will be done by the vendor. So can we say this is normal? This is not related to immovable property now. Can we say vendor is going to provide the services to the advertisement company? Yes, and there is no agreement for use of a particular immovable property or for supply of space. There is No such agreement. What was happening in the previous issue? We were just talking to the vendor that I want your place. Okay, rest things I will do. But here I am not talking to the vendor about the place. I am telling to the vendor that my client's advertisement should go there. So here they are telling that since this does not pertain to immovable property, section 12.3 is not applicable here. Okay, section 12.3 is not applicable. Therefore, this will be normally covered under the by default provisions. By default provisions, which is given under section number 12.2. Do you recollect by default provisions? If place of supply is not mentioned in any of the subsections, then in that case, you have to determine the place of supply as per section number 12. So you have to check that that particular agreement is about what? Is it about directly providing the advertisement service, or is it about acquiring the space for doing the advertisement? If it is relating to acquiring the space, then it is supply of immovable services related to immovable property. If not, then normal section number 12.2 becomes applicable. Are you understanding this, everyone? Yes? Okay. Yes, so are you clear till here, everyone? Done? Now, a couple of amendments from CA final point of view, also specifically applicable for CA final in the later part of the chapter. Come to section number 13.9. Services, place of supply in case of services. Section number 13, place of supply, where location, any one of the person is located outside India. In that section number 13.9. In this also, transportation of goods other than by way of mail or courier. Okay, here also you don't have to see. Here also you don't have to see where the goods are going to go. Normally you will determine the place of supply as per by default provisions, that is section 13.2. So see what are they telling? The rule provides that the place of supply of services is the location of the recipient. However, if it is not available, then location of the supplier will be considered as the place of supply. Means basically where the goods are going to go, that is totally irrelevant. Normal place of supply as per section 13.2 will be determined. And similarly, this was by way of other than mail or courier, and same provision is applicable when the transportation of goods is done by mail or courier. That will still continue to be determined as per section number 13.2. Corresponding changes, corresponding provisions we had taken in section number 12 also, right? Okay, similar provisions is applicable here also. That's it. Let's see if there is any other amendment. This amendment is just done in the summary table. Last. New section was inserted. New section number 14A is inserted, which pertains to that online gaming, etc. Let's do this, everyone. New section, section number 14A. Okay, new section 14A. Now, do you recollect about online gaming? We had studied that any supplier of those specified actionable claims, online gaming, etc. First of all, that was now covered under the levy of GST, that was coming under GST now. Okay, now let's say if there is any supplier of online gaming services, but that person is not located in India, that person is not located in taxable territory, still can we say he will come under GST? Okay, now CGST, SGST will not be applicable, but can we say IGST will be applicable on such supply even if someone is providing that online gaming service from outside India? Right? Now, for that purpose, that person is also required to obtain registration here in India, because now he is liable for paying IGST here in India. Okay. Now, let's say, if suppose that person who is supplying this online gaming service, if that person, because he is not located here in India, there should be some person located in taxable territory representing him, and then he will get registered and he will pay the IGST on behalf of the supplier. Okay, if that person does not have a physical presence, or if that supplier does not have a representative here in India, then please appoint a person here in India who will be liable for payment of tax. Okay, this is just like your eco, na? If your e-commerce operator is not located here in India, then representative was supposed to be appointed. So same way here also, if that supplier of online gaming is not having any physical presence here in India, no problem, appoint a representative who will be liable to get registered and who will be paying the taxes here in India. Okay, if representative is also not there, then appoint a person who will be liable to pay the taxes here in India. Suppose if you don't do this, then in that case, your website will be blocked here in India for general public. Okay, or your app will not be allowed to be used here in India, or your website will be blocked for general public here in India if you do not appoint the representative for the purpose of paying the tax. Means basically, if the government does not get the tax, government will stop you from supplying the services here in India. Are you clear with this simple section? Yes. Okay, that's it. All these amendments were, all these points were basically newly added in your place of supply chapter.